Looking at St. John's, R.J. Lewis is off to a terrific start. What stands out about his play on the court?
Well, their whole team stands out. I mean, RJ, Zuby, the kid who transferred from Seton Hall. They have a really good team. RJ obviously can get downhill and he can make mid-range shots. He's a versatile defender and really tough kid, and so we actually recruited him some. So know all about him.
A chore off the bench Sunday now. Looked impressive scoring the ball. How has he grown since sort of coming back and being able to get a little more acclimated in the rotation?
I don't know that he's grown. He's just been given more opportunity, and had a chance and starting to get a little more comfortable and stuff. So he's a really good player. He can score the ball. He can do a lot of things. He brings energy. And so he'll be getting more opportunities, to show the stuff he can do.
What does bringing Doug off the bench give you guys off that second unit?
Everybody gets caught up in this starting off the bench stuff. I'm not into starters or any of those things. I believe we've got 8, maybe 9 guys in a rotation that can help us win, and any of them can start, any of them can come off the bench. In close games, we got to figure out who the 5 we want to close with. That's what is more important to me. Doug's a valuable part of what we're going to do, and he's going to play. The minutes are going to balance out, and so it's always nice when you can bring someone in when the other team subs and maybe they get a little weaker, you sub and you get stronger. That's always nice.
Do you think Doug is figured out or is starting to figure out what it takes to play point guard for you?
He's getting there. He's working at it. He's working at it. He's watching film. We're talking. We're doing things in practice. He had a great practice today, and I think both he, CJ, David Castillo, they're all learning and growing, and it takes a little while.
I know there's no such thing as an easy game in college basketball, but I'm looking here. You got looks like nothing but hard games left. What are your thoughts about entering the hardest part of your schedule here now?
Yeah, it was put together that way to help us get ready for the Big 12, and so we're starting to I feel like the team is starting to figure each other out, and the staff, we're starting to figure the guys out. And so this is going to be a great challenge for us, one game at a time, to see how much we can continue to grow.
You still have good memories in New York?
Yeah, not great ones, but good ones, my kids, I think it was 2008, we played in the NIT. And we lost in a championship game, but my kids were little, and man, they got to go see the Lion King and do a bunch of things. And I remember when the year was done, the next year they were like, "Man, we want to go to New York again." I was like, "No, we don't want to go to New York. All right, we don't want to go to New York. That's not the place we want to go." And because they didn't understand it, And so, but yeah, I've had some good memories there too. NIT championship games, one that we won, and then obviously we played in the Sweet 16 there at Baylor in 2017, 2018. Lost to South Carolina, Frank Martin's team, and then a couple of years ago, winning, beating Michigan State, and then losing to go to Final Four. So have good and bad memories up there.
You like to sometimes say sometimes it's as simple as shots fall or they don't. 120 points. Was that just a good shooting night, or you think things are coming together for your team?
Probably a little bit of both. It was definitely a really good shooting night. Like I said, I told the guys going in, we're going to shoot 35 threes, and we're going to make 15 of them, and we're going to try an offensive rebound, 10 of our 20 misses, and, they shot 40 of them, made 21, and so, yeah, but it wasn't just the shooting; it was the guys moving the ball to the right person, and then making the extra pass, and because I think 30 of our 40 baskets were assisted or something like that. So the guys did a good job passing the ball.
And you like to mention that you don't want to peak too soon, but with that in mind, is this team where you'd like him to be at this stage of the season?
No. coaches always want them further ahead than where they're at, right? And so I'm always thinking we could be better. There's things, and so, but I think it's where they need to be at. And so it doesn't matter what I want. It's about where we need to be at and for them to grow organically at the right time together.
I know when asked, Troy didn't think much of your guys' defensive effort, but you also had 16 steals. Is that more them being careless with the ball and taking advantage of it? Or, I mean, that's quite a bit. That was top 10 in school history for a game.
Yeah, I felt we relaxed in the second half and allowed them to. I mean, there was one stretch there. I think they made like 5 out of 6 shots or something, and a couple of them were like some tough ones, but still, some of them were pretty easy. I think one of the fans in the stands started yelling, "Play some defense!" I mean, it was that bad. So, yeah, it wasn't a great defensive effort. Now the aggressiveness that we played with, right? We wanted to be the team with the most energy and the most passion. I thought we did that.
And then, especially being in this conference, and then also who you've gotten to play in the postseason, you've gotten to face a lot of Hall of Fame coaches, some that will be Hall of Fame coaches. Do you think about that at all? Do you think about going up against a guy like Rick Pitino who has all the history and everything behind him?
No, I mean, I wish Coach Pitino was playing, but he's not. He's, what I mean, like that's thing. He's got players, right? He's done a really good job of assembling a team that can emulate his personality and what he's about. And it is. Now, don't get me wrong, it's an honor, right? I was a young high school coach and bought his. His tapes on his black and white press defense, right? And we did that in high school, press the whole time, and as a player, I found one of his tapes. I think he was at Boston U at the time. It was a individual development tape that I pretty much memorized, did every ball handling drill, all the cone drills, all of those, and, helped me become a better player. That's when I learned, like, you can become a better player by working at it. And as a coach, that's what I wanted to do for my players. So, and then the fact that, Coach Carnesecca just passed away and, we get a chance to go up there and play. So, I mean, there's a lot that it goes into that, as a young person, I never thought that I would be a part of or have a chance to be a part of. And so the blessing that God's given me to be in this situation, and experience all of this, I don't take it lightly. But, it's that I'm sure Coach Pitino will say it's not the coach on the sideline. It's those players that are on the floor that's going to make the difference.
You said you're building towards the Big 12. The fact that it's an expanded Big 12 schedule, does that kind of force you to accelerate the building process? Do you have to kind of do it faster, or how do you balance the strength of schedule?
Yeah, when you have to pick up 2 more conference games, then it makes you kind of cut back on the number, because I think initially we wanted to play like 6 or 7 high major teams in the non-conference, but when you pick up 2 more Big 12 games, you have to drop 2 games from the non-conference. Well, it wouldn't make sense to, in my opinion, to drop, to play 7 high major games in the non-conference and then turn around and play 20 in our league. And yeah, that's really not, especially when you have to rebuild your team, and Lord willing, we don't have to do this every year, but when you have to rebuild your team, there's just so much that you have to teach them. And some of it I forget that I need to teach them, like, oh crap, we haven't gone over that, and so yeah, it does make you change how you do things.
Hey, Coach, happy holidays. First question, guys just got back from St. Thomas, going out to New York City. Do you view these trips as a bonding experience for the team? And what's the balance between doing fun, like team bonding stuff, and just being strictly business?
Man, that's an excellent question. And yeah, there is a lot of team building and bonding that needs to take place and can take place. And I don't think there's a chemistry or science to how you balance it, but in the islands, we made sure that we had great meals together, and that we got to go out on a catamaran together and have a good time, and then in going to New York, we're going to try and go tour the World Trade Center, that area there. I've never seen it myself, done a tour, and I'd like to do that and have the guys learn that, because you forget, like for us, guys my age, it feels like yesterday, but for our guys, some of them, I don't know if they were even born, when it took place, and so, it's current event for me, but it's history for them, and it's something that I want them to learn and experience and have an appreciation for the people who sacrificed themselves for us.
And then with St. John's particularly, you already mentioned a couple of the players, but they have one of the best guard combos in the country with Kadary Richmond and Davion Smith. Are you excited for that challenge for Doug and Brendan and the other guards to get to face off against such a great guard tandem?
Not just a great guard, just a team, and in a hostile environment. We're excited about this opportunity. You want to see how much we've grown, and we recruited the Smith kid some, and so I know how talented he is, and just the whole team. So we're excited about this opportunity. I really like the mindset our guys have, and how we're growing right now. So, and I mean, like as a team, you talk about their offensive rebounding. 38% of their misses, they score, and they pride themselves in turning you over and getting out in transition. They're top 8 in the country, and that they block shots at a high level. There's just a whole lot that goes into this. So.
And my last question for you, at this point of the season, tail end of non-conference play, no leading scorer has emerged, but do you think that you guys even need one? Because I'd say 6 double-digit scores and 120 points is a good strategy to win.
Yeah, man, I like the balance. I like the fact that we have weapons. Teams are going to take certain guys away each game. It's up to them to figure out. You can't take everything away, right? And so they're going to have to figure out who they want to take away. And I like the fact that our guys, the go-to guy is the open guy. And when you have a number of guys who can do that, for me, I think it's just more fun at the end of the game, when the game is over, that you guys want to interview different guys every game rather than the same 2 guys every game, right? I like it that way. I want 9 guys to be interviewed at some point in time during the season by Holly Rowe and the Chris Button and Kellis and you guys. That was a pretty good combination right there. You know what I mean? Like that's what you want. You want a balanced team, and you want everybody to be excited for whoever's night it is that night.
Hey, Coach. It's first true road contest in New York. Do you really feel like that trip to the Virgin Islands kind of prepped your guys to be playing away from Bramlage, whether that's on the floor and in a different type of environment or off the floor too?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope it did. But the fact that we get to play a true road environment before we get into the Big 12 and face those road environments, that's probably what I'm more excited about.
Yeah, and I want to ask you about C.J. Jones too. Have you continued to be as pleased with him through the last couple games as you were kind of before things got rolling earlier in the season?
No, CJ. I think CJ's kind of relaxed a little bit. He's not as aggressive as I want him to be, and or commanding. When you play the point guard position, you can't be quiet. You not only have to talk, you have to command your team. And I'd like to see CJ be more vocal and be more aggressive. And he's got this burst that he doesn't show all the time, and I want him to show that more often.
You mentioned something interesting about how Pitino's built this team that sort of emulates his personality. I think we've all seen the personality that Pitino has, but what are some of the traits that a Pitino team has when they're at their best?
Well, they're really aggressive defensively. They pick you up full court. They try to turn you over. They guard without fouling because they want to wear you down. And one of his things was fouling negates hustle, right? So you foul, the other team gets a chance to rest, and you don't want that. You want the other team tired. Offensively, they put a lot of pressure on the rim by driving the ball hard and then throwing the ball to the open person. They get a steal, they pitch the ball ahead so they can go get layups. They don't dribble steals, and then on a missed shot, they've got guys going to the glass because they want second chance shots.
I know you touched on this a little bit, but just these final 3 games before Big 12 play does hit, how important are these opportunities to learn about your team?
Man, just to learn. It's important to learn, but we got to win these things, right? Like, it's real important for us to set us up going into the Big 12, and these next few games, they're all potential NCAA tournament teams, and so those are the kind of games you want to play and see where you're at and show where you're at also.